Hello and welcome to domytriesthis. I hope you brought your cuppa. Today's coffee cup is actually a repeat one from earlier, but it was done when my filming wasn't very good. Granted, I still got some ways to go to get some good quality there, but I wanted to show this off again. It is a dragon coffee mug that I picked up from Stash Tea, precisely because it is dragons. It actually has a little lid that is supposed to go with it that I don't use much. It is one of my favorite coffee mugs, just from the patterning and the beautiful dragons on it. I love this coffee mug. Today's tea is spiced espresso chai, and the biggest difference between it and Celestial Seasonings' other spiced chai teas is this one actually has espresso in it. So let's give it a taste because I've never tried this one before. Wow, that is a deep, dark tea. You don't get as much of the spices in it. You do get the espresso. You get more of a chocolate or coffee taste to it. I'm not sure that this will become a tea that I'll drink very often. I love the smell of coffee. I generally don't like the taste, and that bitterness is still there, so I'm not sure that this will be a tea that I will drink very often. It's good, just not for me, so to speak. Anyway, so today we are starting our ColourPop week, and I will be reviewing lots and lots of ColourPop. I will be reviewing some of their miscellaneous things, their eye things, their cheek things, their lip things, just all kinds of things from ColourPop. The week will be broken up into at least 4 videos. We might get one every day, but we'll have to see when I finish filming. Since I'm just starting to film, I'm not quite sure how long that's going to last. And today is likely to be the shortest of the 4. I did not buy everything from ColourPop. One, I was already spending like a ton of money. And I mean, we're talking a couple $100 here. That's a lot of money. 2, they have the powdered highlighters, the powdered shadows, the liquid shadows. Those are things that for me would be a waste to buy because I will not use them. I do like some pressed pigments or some powdered pigments. I do have my Furless from Ipsy, but I find those kind of messy to work with. I don't actually like working with them very much, and I don't like working with liquid products for my face really much, other than the usual moisturizer and foundation and stuff like that. So buying those would have been a waste of money. Now, to be fair, it would have been a far more affordable waste of money than, say, Styla, but it would still have been a waste of money, so we didn't do that. I have been working on this for over a month. I have a ton of notes that I'm going to have to keep looking at, so don't be surprised if I keep looking down. I do that through my videos anyway because I try to take very detailed notes of how something is working for me, what the issues I have are with it. If I find something that I really like, I usually do things like check on price. If it is something that has particular claims, like a foundation or a moisturizer or some other kind of skincare will have claims, I look up the claims and try to make sure that I take notes on the claims. So there will be a lot of note checking today through the week for all the videos because there is literally way too much, too many different things, even within certain lines, like the Super Shock shadows. They have at least 5 different finishes. They have the matte, the satin, the pearlized, and the ultra glitter, the metallic, the ultra metallic. There's just way too much to remember about each one. Now, for some of them, they worked the same and it didn't really matter. But for others, the differences were, there were differences, and some of them were very minute differences. However, it's a lot. So there'll be a lot of note checking, and it is going to be a very long week in terms of that. But you guys will get, I wanted to get the full range of the brand. We keep hearing about things like the concealer. We keep hearing about things like the lippies, and we hear about their palettes, and but there are things that we don't hear about. And there are a few things that I ended up missing. I do have another order sitting in the ColourPop cart that has one of those items that we ended up missing. Just from pure, there's so much. Now, if I manage to order that before I'm done filming, I will try to get those last few items in, but we will have to see what happens, because seriously, there's so much. Okay, so today we're going to try to cover some miscellaneous type things. Some of them are for the eyes. There's a couple of other things in here, but most of them are for the eye or around the eye area. I do apologize if we end up with a lot of background noise. My grandson is here and he's wide awake. Apparently there's kids playing outside, so hopefully we can get through this without too much interruption. We shall see. I want to look at something that everybody has looked at, and when it first came out, it like became the rage, and that is the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. This is a very thick and creamy concealer. This particular color is probably a touch light for me, at least right now. Middle summer, it actually probably isn't that bad in terms of color. However, this creases on me, and it emphasizes my texture, and it does not hold up to my weepy eye very well. I know I have allergies, and I tend to have issues with my eyes holding on to eyeshadow. I tend to have issues with them getting very teary. So I need stuff that can hold up to that, or at least can repair well. And this doesn't do either. I cannot repair this very easily. It does better without banana powder, but not well enough that I'm going to continue to use this. This is going to go to one of my girls. It was really one of the bigger disappointments in the product line. There's another disappointment in the product line, but I wasn't expecting as much. And that might have been because it was so well received and it was so positively reviewed by so many people that I expected more of it. That's not its fault, but it is not something that I won't purchase this again. I just didn't like it. It just didn't do what I needed it to do. It did conceal. It is definitely full coverage. It's just, it showed everything I didn't want it to show. So, and didn't repair or hold up well to some of the issues that I particularly have with my eyes. So not one that I would recommend personally if you have those kinds of issues, if you have texture in your eyes, if you have allergies that cause your eyes to leak, weep, whatever. This is not concealer I would recommend for someone with those similar issues. It will not hold up very well. The next three things, our last three things for this particular video, are all, well, no, one of them isn't. I take that back. I was going to say they're all pencils, but they're not all pencils. The next one is also a pot thing that was also a fail for me, and that is the cream gel eyeliner pot. They have it in a pot and they have it in a pencil as well. I got this one in Swerve, which was a jet black. This is a very thick, very, very thick, very dry formula. I didn't like this at all. Generally, when I do my eyeliner, I use, well, you know, an eyelining brush, because when I do my eyeliner, I usually do a setting spray on a palette like this. This has a mirror on the other side, but I spray the mirror side, and then I will dip my brush into the setting spray and then dip my brush into whichever eyeshadow to do my liner. And this is typically the brush that I use when doing that. I have a second brush to show you something later. It didn't work very well with this at all. And it tugged at the eye, and which I really don't like. It was very hard to work with. It actually does do better with basically a detail brush. I tend to use these to fill in my wings because that longer eyelining brush, if I try to fill in my wings with those, I end up making major mistakes. But it did do better with this, but it still tugged at my eye, and it was very hard to get a fine line with the detail brush. It's one of the reasons I prefer the eyelining brush, is because I can get a very nice fine line with this kind of brush. The detail brush is not able to do that. So overall, the color payout wasn't worth it. It's just too dry. It was too difficult to work with. And I just didn't enjoy working with this at all. I did try it several different times. You can see that I've really gotten in there a little bit. This will go to my youngest daughter, who likes this kind of thing, and we'll figure out a way to make it work, and make it work like the bomb. So this one is not, again, if you want something smooth and easy and creamy to apply, I do not recommend their pot gel eyeliner. Now, as I mentioned, the eyeliner comes also in a pencil. This is their cream gel eyelining pencil. It is a twist up, and as you can see, you get quite a bit of product for the price. That's not even all the way. There we go. That's all the way. I have used it. You can see from the tip of it that I have used it more than once. It has some beautiful color. Whoa, I just broke it. You do have to be careful with some of these things of theirs. I've noticed that they do break easily. A couple of them. This is one of them. It does have some beautiful color. It works better than the pot formula. It is creamier and smoother. It is not nearly as creamy as the Urban Decay 24/7, which I actually is one of my favorite eyeliners because of how easily it goes on. The Urban Decay 24/7 does not tug at all. This has some minimal tugging, but you get some decent color out of it, and it's not uncomfortable, so it's workable. This doesn't hold up to my weepy eye very well. To be fair, a lot of eyeliners don't. I mean, you get right in that corner. Once I start tearing up, whatever's in this corner, whether it's shadow or eyeliner, even with the setting spray, it tends to get washed away no matter what I do. But this doesn't hold up. This holds up worse than most of my other products. It is also very hard to get a nice thin line. As you saw, it is a bit on the stiff side. That's one of the reasons why it tugs. But as you just saw, it's also soft enough that it's very easy to break. You have to make sure to have very little bit out, or if you don't want to break it. And it's hard to get a thin line with it just because of the way it's, the thickness of the pencil itself. It's pretty wide. It's usable, it's passable, but I doubt this will ever become a favorite for me. It's okay. Don't necessarily want more, will probably use this one up. So it's an okay eyeliner. Not one of my favorites though. So the last two things are brow products, and I actually really liked what I've tried of their brow products. I do want to try their brow gel, but I haven't picked any up. I might add some to this last order and see if I can tack it on to the end of the filming I'm doing for my brand review for ColourPop. We will have to see. I would like to try it. At any rate, the first thing that I tried was the Brow Boss. This is in the color Soft Black. It can be tough to open. It is another spin up, just like the eye pencil. It has a much smaller, finer point to it. I think that if they did that with their, let's see if I can do this. I think if they did that with their eye pencil, it would probably be better or easier to get that fine line. The pigmentation on the Brow Boss is very light. I had to really work to build up to the color. So the pigmentation, at least for this particular color, is not the best. However, it does really work for me, even with this pigmentation, for a maybe especially because of this pigmentation, for a more natural look to my brows. It helps clean up the foundation, since I do my brows after I apply my foundation. It does help clean up. It does, the color is lighter, so it doesn't give the dramatic look that I do with the blacker pencil. The pencil itself is a bit on the dry and stiff side. It does break easily. You have, like the eyeliner, you have to make sure that you do not have a lot out, or you will end up with a broken pencil. And it can crumble when you're using it. One of the things that I didn't realize it had until later was a spoolie. But as you can see, I can no longer reach the spoolie. I actually probably can. I just have to work it out. But that is pretty tightly in there. And I have to say, again, this is where some of that is a problem, is that packaging, where it's easy to have things break off. The spoolie is actually... it's a nice short spoolie, which I like. I have another product that I'm using that has a longer spoolie, and I don't like that very much, especially for your brows. You don't need anything long for your brows. It's very stiff. The bristles are really nice. I really like the way the spoolie worked on me. So overall, I actually really liked the Brow Boss, and I'm likely to repurchase it. So ColourPop has a second eyebrow pencil. This is just a brow pencil. It's a little different in that the spoolie is actually attached. This will not come off. It's easy to get to. This one is in Jet Set Black. They are creamier. The pigmentation is just a little bit better, a little bit darker. It is another roll up like that. And I like this one too. I used it today. It gives me a much darker color to my brows. It is creamier and more pigmented. To be fair, that might be the color. Jet Set Black and Soft Black are definitely going to be two different colors. The Soft Black will lean more towards the gray, whereas a Jet Set Black will lean more black. But as you can see, it's not black, really. And the spoolie is very similar to the Brow Boss spoolie. So again, I like it. It's firm, it's shorter, it does a really good job of combing through my brows. And you know, I do use a gel before I put on my color, and it does get all of that in there and tame the brows really well. Just like the Brow Boss, I am likely to repurchase this. I'm probably more likely to repurchase this because the spoolie is not going to end up stuck inside and have me fighting to get to it. But overall, another product that I haven't heard much talked about from ColourPop, and I actually really liked these. So I liked both of the brow products. I would repurchase these. Not so thrilled with the eyelining products or the concealer. My grandson's having a day. I'm sorry, guys. So that's it for my ColourPop for today. I just had everything go all over my table. That's it for ColourPop today. Coming up over the week, we're going to have two different eye videos. One for the Super Shocks and one for the pressed. And then we're going to have hopefully just one video for the lips and one video for the cheeks, the face. Because, you know, I am wearing all ColourPop today with one color from a Juvia's Place palette in my face, but I actually used one of my eyeshadows on my cheeks today. So I am really finding that I enjoy the ColourPop overall. There are some fails, but overall it is I've gotten sucked in. I've gotten really sucked in. But that is it for today, and you will get to see the rest of the craziness through the rest of this week, and I hope you'll be back. I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen, and if you have, please subscribe and click the notification bell so that you know when I upload. And even if you don't subscribe, I do hope you will be back at least this week, and when you do, bring your cup of tea. Bye. Oh, that's strong. That is really strong stuff. Not a favorite.